Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper.
Put it in the upper right-hand corner just like a postage stamp. That's a good bingo.
Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
And unfortunately, this week we're here to wrap up the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets, a season that saw them finish 2 points out of a playoff spot and just narrowly missed the postseason. And Jody, what a season this was. I'm glad a week has gone by before we really delve into it and talk about it. And we're going to have Dean Evison, the Blue Jackets head coach, come on with us in just a bit. But, when it's over at the time and the emotions and the feelings are raw and you're very disappointed, 7 days later, you can look back on it and go, wow, what an experience that was.
Yeah, there's part of me that feels that way, but there's also a part of me that, and you've seen teams in the past go through this. Detroit went through it last year, being so close. Washington squeaked in last year and made some adjustments. Now they're a different team. It's disappointing in the regard that one win would have got them into the playoffs, and they went on a 6-game winning streak after having a really tough stretch out of the break and when they got players back. So many lessons for everyone, I think, in the organization about where this team ended up. And, it was a special year with how the team came together, how they played so hard, above expectations, a lot of guys having career years in many ways. There's a lot to look back at and be proud, but I'm still kind of there where, you feel like it was theirs to take. I don't know if we'll ever see an Eastern Conference race like this again, where the belief for so many teams was there after 41 games into the season, and no one grabbed it. And I don't even feel like Montreal grabbed it. I feel like it was kind of handed to them. And I think that whoever got in that 8th spot was going to do that. You look at the West, St. Louis grabbed it. They pushed everyone out. I know till the end, Minnesota dropped and Calgary was still alive close to the end of the season. But, yeah, I definitely agree with you, though, Bob. Overall, you look back and this organization, this team, and this city, Columbus, Ohio, should be extremely proud of the 24-25 season for what they witnessed.
What it feels like to me is finally this is heading back in the right direction.
Yeah, now there's expectations. No one knew what to expect coming into this season. Coaches changes, you have management changes, you have an unthinkable tragedy and dealing with that. But yeah, there's expectations from the city, from the organization, and from the coaches and the players individually. After you have a career year, the benchmark goes up. I don't know what a career beer is, but the benchmark
still having it.
The benchmark goes up after a career year for everyone individually. So that's that'll be it'll be an interesting and fun season, and it'll be here before you know it.
The goaltending is what is going to be focused on, I think, in fair or not fair in many regards.
I think it's settled. Jack Greaves, I think he came in and he showed them I'm ready to be a number one, and I think that's where that's at.
You know what I like the most about that is, remember, he had played other games here during the year, and he had 2 wins, but in those games he was good, and he was in some better than the other 2. But yeah, I think you're right. Did he grab it in those opportunities? Not as much as he did at the very end.
No, and it's where he fits in with the team. They have a decision with the other guys, Elvis for sure. What's going to happen with him? Where's he at? Does he come in and maybe there's a great competition? And Tarasov still is that going to be in the cards? So yeah, it's encouraging that they got a lot out of this season, and I think they got. Right till the end, from day one until the end, they got a lot of information out of this season. And I think that's the most important thing for the organization.
Yeah, for a GM and a head coach who had not been part of the organization, they've seen it all.
Yeah, they have. And you go back to some of the players who played earlier. I go to Putia, who really, he made the team out of camp. They didn't know anything about him. These are players that are not to be forgotten. Del Belbalous, he came in, and what's he going to look like next year? These are guys that have showed that they can fit in to the NHL, but more importantly, the NHL in this system and fit into the room already, and we're a part of kind of what this special group went through. So you look at those things and you look at those players, and there's decisions to be made on a lot of the free agents too. I mean, you know, you're trying to get Provorov done. You're trying to get, you wonder what James Van Riemsdyk, Corrali, is he going to be gone now? I expect, I don't know. I don't know if you mess with the group, but those are going to be decisions that are either made on some guys and some are going to be tougher.
Well, when you talk about this system and the way the team plays, the head coach is responsible for those things. And Dean Evison is going to be with us here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank on 97.1 The Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Germain Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99%, up to 48 months, or 4.49%, up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Reds fans, we're off to the races. Assemble your pit crew and cheer on your Reds at the 2025 MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, August 2nd. Tickets are on sale now to watch your Reds shift into high gear when they face off against the Atlanta Braves during this special showcase at one of racing's most iconic tracks. For tickets and more information, visit Reds.com/Bristol.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's one of the best weeks of the year. Draft Week. Draft Week. Draft Week on The Fan is
presented by the Crown Automotive Group in Dublin.
The Fan. Ohio's sports destination.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
It's here, Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. Take an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Explore an expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. But hurry, this limited-time sale ends April 27th, and we're even open this Sunday. Don't miss out. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
You hear that crunch? It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Bread Financial is proud to be the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets. They provide simple, personalized payment, lending, and saving solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings and CDs to buy now, make that score now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for your budget and your goals, hockey or otherwise. Learn more at breadfinancial.com. And let's go Blue Jackets.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Blue skies, light winds, and a perfect end of the day on Wednesday. Temperatures running near 80 degrees. Staying mild overnight down to the mid-50s by your Thursday morning. And after a dry start, we'll see a few pop-up showers and perhaps a rumble of thunder in the afternoon and into Thursday evening. Warm and a bit more humid with highs in the low 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody, Shelley, and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Welcome back to the season-ending edition of the Inside Edge. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley with you, and we're joined right now by head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evison, who just wrapped up his first season here. And Dean, it's been a week. What's your last week been like, where at this time last week you were hoping you were still going to be in the playoffs, and now here you are gearing up for what's going to be in the future?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, obviously. You know, our meetings certainly with the group, you know, and I know a lot of people have talked about it. It's been, you know, everybody's like positive and all the adversity we went through and all of that. But end of the day, our job is to get in the playoffs. Our job is to win the Stanley Cup, and we didn't do that. So as positive as a lot of things are, and don't get me wrong, I'm you know, we're very happy with the way that a lot of things went. But at the end of the day, we're not satisfied, and I wanted the guys to leave here with that hunger, with that bitter taste in their mouth that, okay, you were going to get a lot of accolades already and all that kind of stuff, but end of the day, we did nothing. We didn't make the playoffs. We didn't take a first step and win a first round or second round, and obviously we didn't win the Stanley Cup. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've built or continued on the foundation that was here prior to when we got here, and we need to make that next step starting next year.
How did you handle exit meetings? Did you just do a group meeting? Did you meet with any players individually? Because every coach does it a different way.
Yeah, I've done every way, to be honest with you, every place that I've been, and I've just found that the best way to do it is just to, obviously there's some people that you want to talk to, some people that you want to do certain things in the summer as far as strength and conditioning and mentally, or you know, some of the things, and there's a bunch of positive ones, few negative ones, but I'm not big on setting a schedule on the wall and saying everybody come in every 10 minutes. It's repetitive. It's the same thing, and you're just trying to get through it. And I want it to be more substance. So we asked the guys to, whoever wants to come and see me, come and see me. Like, call me, text me, do whatever, step into the office. I'm going to be around. And it doesn't have to be here. We can go for lunch, we can have dinner, we can go for breakfast, whatever it is. And then we did speak to some guys that are getting out of the country, and Don had the same philosophy. Obviously, I'll be meeting with a lot of guys through the summer that live here on a consistent basis.
It just seems easier to have a constructive conversation, right, under those kind of conditions.
Yeah, if you get the guys are coming in, they know someone else. There's 10 guys waiting outside your door to come in, and it's just. I want it to be a little more personable, a little bit more, intimate or what have you. So we did it that way, and, I'll be meeting with guys all through the summer.
Dean, it was a special year in a lot of ways for this organization and this team, and you came into a tough situation, and I feel like you had something extremely special in that locker room that teams may never have. And you look at that part of this season, and where does that sit with you as far as how quick and how deep this team came together?
Yeah, Jody, I'll go back to, Johnny Gaudreau, obviously. It's terrible, devastating situation. But it gave us strength in a lot of ways. It made us, not made us, it allowed us to really pull together and for each other, thinking about him on a daily basis and talking about him and having his presence in the room, and that, by the way, won't stop. His locker will be there for as long as I'm here. His locker will be there. The pictures will be up there and all of that. He's gonna help us get to where we are. There's no question about that. But yeah, the guys really, came together because of that situation, obviously. But then after that, I think I know that they really bought into, team first mentality. And I think that the group here, especially the leaders, have that in them. And, they were able to bring a lot of the young guys and not so young guys together in that regard as well.
You're an emotional guy. I mean, we see it behind the bench, and I think it played well into this group this season. Is that where does that come from you? Is that just how you are? Because I watch you away from the bench, you have this lightness to you, but behind the bench, it seems stressful. What's going on back there when you're behind the bench? Because I feel like that permeates throughout your group. Is that kind of how you feel as well?
Yeah, it's definitely not stress. There's some anxiety, obviously.
Passion?
You get into game. Passion is probably a better word. I had Monahan come in at the end of the year, and he just, it was like, the stuff and the excitement that I have and the coaching staff has during games. He said it does feed into the group. And now listen, you can't get too rattled back there or too, screaming at the referees or getting too vocal and whatever. Then, the team can go a little bit sideways and get too excited and too jacked up. But I've always said, like, a lot of coaches, you just sit back there and everybody's like, well, you stay as calm as you can. Well, sure, you stay calm, but why can't we get excited as well when you have exciting situations? We score in overtime. Sorry, but I don't mind jumping up and down and yelling, and why not? I mean, I'm as excited as the players are to have a big win or a situation like that. So, Hopefully we continue as a coaching staff to have the right passion, the right, desire, obviously, or outward, picture to the group, so that we can have that excitement, but not take it overboard.
Sean Monahan's an interesting guy to me. I didn't know much about him, and boy, I've been nothing but impressed. And what's it feel like as a coach to have him recognize and kind of respect what you've brought to the team?
Yeah, when you have a guy like that, and obviously right from the start, literally being Johnny's best friend, just having him lead us in all areas. And he, as you guys know, doesn't say a lot, but he will. He will say stuff, and when he does, obviously it resonates very strongly, not only to the players but to the coaching staff and to me as well. But yeah, to have that that recognition that we are doing the right things, that we are going about it correctly. It means a lot. That feedback, the camaraderie, or whatever you want to call it, the togetherness that we have, and when players start to coach or deliver the message that we want to deliver as a coaching staff, and they buy into it, and they are starting now teaching the team and leading the team, and they take control of the team. That's an exciting time for a coaching staff, and he's one of the guys that has done that all year.
You know, I've seen and had a number of coaches, and some would have very personal relationships. Some would stick mostly with their presence and their information that they would provide. They keep it very surface as far as a one-on-one relationship. Maybe it was just because it was me. Maybe it was my problem.
Maybe they're just scared the hell out of like talking to you. Like, I'm scared right now.
I wish they got to know me, but come on.
Yeah.
Do you focus on a personal relationship? Do you genuinely want to know these people? Is that part of it now with this coach, how coaching is, or do you keep it a little more surface?
It is part of it now. There's a lot of psychology or whatever trying to push the right buttons, but I'll be honest, everybody's different, right? I always have a saying that you don't treat everybody the same, but you treat everybody fairly. And you know, I don't treat Fantilli the same as I treat Monahan, right? I mean, like, and/or have the same relationship. So you try to build a relationship, but then it doesn't have to be the exact same as the next guy. You can have, maybe not as personable one. Maybe there's one that you're communicating with the guy more. With a guy like Monahan, you don't have to say anything to him, really. I mean, it's just a matter of giving him a little here and there, and continuing to make sure that he knows that you're there if he needs you. But a guy like Fantilli, he wants that constant reinforcement. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, and so he needs a little bit more. And he's a younger guy, obviously learning. So, those two guys are different players, obviously, in their careers as far as veteran and then a young player. So, to answer your question, you try to build a relationship. They're not all the same, but you definitely want to create something that the player feels comfortable coming to you with any type of situation.
We're talking with head coach Dean Evison of the Blue Jackets. You just mentioned Adam Fantilli a couple of times there, and this guy, you go back to the early part of the year, he wasn't scoring goals, and you were asked about it, and I loved what you said at the time. You said, we don't tell guys don't score goals. Just do your job, right? And you said he's learning. He's learning how to be a complete player, and it's going to pay off. And you look at the first couple of months, and the point totals were down. When Monahan got hurt, and he had to step in on that top line, he really took off, and then it just continued the rest of the year. When you look at his overall game, how impressed are you with what he put himself through, what he got from it, and what he turned it into at the end?
Yeah, I'll take that quote a little bit different too, or a step further, is that we don't tell them not score, but we don't tell them you have to score goals. Like I don't bring guys in the start of the year and say you have to score 20 goals. That's your goal, and whatever. I know some players have short-term goals, like I want to get 50 points, I want to do this and that. My belief is that if you compete your ass off, you do the right things, you play the right way, as you just mentioned, Bob, that Fantilli plays the right way, commits to learning the defensive end, commits to playing on the right side of the puck, commits to competing each and every night for those loose pucks, for those battles, not just offensively but defensively, then you have to believe that you're going to score goals with your God-given talent, that when you get to that position, you're going to score goals. And that's what we tried to... You're right, it was like he would be so frustrated with not putting up points, and he thought that that's how he had to help the team. Well, sure, scoring however many goals, he scored 30 goals. Yeah, did that help us, have success? Yeah, but more importantly, keeping the thing out of the net, committing defensively, helped us even more. And then his leadership, as you said, when Monty went down, his leadership, not only stepping into an offensive role or the #1 center iceman role, was fantastic, but his leadership took a step forward as well. He really had to be a leader on our hockey club, show leadership in all regards, as far as his work ethic, as far as his attitude, as far as his compete level, and then he started scoring goals. It's not a secret. You compete. You have that gift of the skill set that a player like he has. You're going to score goals, and he did.
Would you put Marchenko in a similar category, which the scoring was not a problem for him, but defensively, even like at the end of the year, he finished, I think he went like 9 games without scoring a goal, but the defensive plays that he was making was keeping the puck out of the net for your team.
His compete level, we asked him to compete on every puck. We just, a guy like that has a natural ability to score goals, sometimes will play on the outside. He'll wait on the outside looking to open up for a one-timer or hope somebody else gets in the puck. And we had to stress to him several times, show him video many times, that the puck is sitting there. You go get it. If you have the puck, we're in better shape. So I remember a meeting in particular. We brought him, it was in between periods, we brought him in, and he wasn't competing on pucks. We showed him 3 or 4 clips of, and you know, I sternly told him if he doesn't start competing on pucks, then he doesn't play. Simple as that. And to the players aren't happy when they leave a meeting like that. But if you commit to doing the right things, and I'm not saying that the coaching staff's always right, but if the coaches ask you to compete and then you'll play more, then my guess is you should do it, because you will play more. And he did, committed to that area, started getting inside, started scoring goals, dirty goals. Then the nice ones, the pretty ones, the one-timers, you know, fanning out when it's available to you, came to him more naturally once he scored those goals in the inside.
We're talking with Blue Jackets head coach Dean Evison tonight here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. More coming up after this on 97.1 The Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done and enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or at goodfeet.com.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody, Shelley, and Bob McElligott. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott, along with Jody Shelley. And tonight we're joined by Blue Jackets head coach Dean Evison. Was it a luxury or a curse, or not a curse, a challenge is the word I'm looking for, luxury or a challenge, or a combination of both when everybody got healthy on this team? Because it was kind of, guys were kind of being put in the lineup because I don't have this guy, so this guy's going in. All of a sudden you had everybody, and you had to decide who was in and out. What kind of a challenge was that like for you?
Yeah, it's a good point, because everybody's like, well, now we're all healthy, everything's great, right? But now the chemistry's all flipped around. And prior to how many games we win at the end? Six in a row? Something like that.
Yeah.
The 2 or 3 before that were losses. I think we had shutouts. We were flipping the lines all over the place trying to find chemistry, and it took us a bit, and it probably took us a little bit too long. We get a couple of those wins, and I don't know, the stretch prior to that wasn't very good. That, you know, maybe if we would have found those combinations quicker as a staff, maybe we would have had an opportunity to be in the playoffs. So, but yeah, it does create some challenges. Do you want that? Yes. You know, you just hope that you push the right buttons a little bit quicker, and obviously we've evaluated that. We've talked about that. We'll talk about it again as far as what we did as a coaching staff in order to have success and not have success this year.
I want to go back and talk about Marchenko again, because you had a young superstar in Minnesota in Kirill Kaprizov. Did you bring up his name at all to Marchenko?
Were you in the meetings?
No.
Like, he must be an ex-player.
He's got a mole back there.
That gets it. But Marchie came in at the end of the year. And while I asked him to come in, I was going to talk about that compete, that he needs to get a little bit stronger. That was one area that we wanted to concentrate on this summer, to push him to put on some, not bulk, just put on some strength. And he'll do that naturally as a young player, just maturing. But he asked me about Kirill. He said, you coach Kirill for whatever, how many years, can I be, you know, like him or as good as him, and what do I need to do to be like him? And he looks up to him, obviously. And I said that the challenge that you had this year on competing on pucks, I said when Kirill was first coming over, Kirill Kaprizov was coming over, I watched tape. And you watched all his shifts in, say, 3 games. Yes, you saw him scoring goals, you saw him setting up plays, you saw him, you know, whatever. But what stood out to us as a staff before we got him was that every time he went into the corner, the puck came out with him. And he always had it on his tape. He competed his ass off to get that puck. I said, that's what sets him apart. Yes, he's got great instincts. He can skate. He's strong, and he is very strong. And I was talking to him about his lower body and his strength. But his compete level is always on, and that's what Marchie has to do to have success, like Kirill Kaprizov.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and I hear Kaprizov is one of the hardest workers out there, and I think Marchenko, just by watching him from the sidelines, he has that pedigree as well. He could have that pedigree.
Yeah, and that obviously, and then Kirill didn't speak hardly any English when he first came over, but he had a leadership quality because of that work ethic, and he obviously was a great player for us right away, but he was immediately embraced by the group because they saw his competitiveness, they saw his work ethic, not only in games but in practice and in the gym, and stressed that to Marchie as well.
You know what? I call it, that's respect, right? I mean, that's teammate respect is getting that, doing the right thing away from the puck. And I want to go back to Fantilli, where I think the young players come in and think they automatically have respect from their team because they're good, they're a high draft pick, they have the points, you know. There was a point this season where he figured out that he gained the respect of the coaching staff and his teammates, which is the most important thing.
I think you just made a crucial point, is that once you get in that locker room, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
Bob has to edit it.
I just did. All right, my bad. But nobody cares. Like, if you were a first rounder, if you scored 100 points in the Western Hockey League or Michigan State or wherever you played, who cares? Like, they only care about what and how you can help the team win right now. And so, yeah, I think that's a huge point, is that if the guys understand that, if they just compete, if they just go about their business, they're good teammates, they support each other, then we're going to have a better opportunity to win hockey games.
But did you feel that with Fantilli? Well, there was a point, and it might have been just before Monahan went out. I don't know if you had I know you had a lot of conversations with him. You guys have a good relationship. It seems like good for him and probably good for you. Was there a point where you saw it, where you're like, okay, he looks comfortable in his skin because now he knows what the guys respect of him and expect?
Well, I'll tell you this. An inside scoop is that my last meeting, so we had showed Fantilli, not just me, all the coaches, to be honest with you, were showing him clips early in the year. Backhand spinoramas into the middle of the ice, trying to beat people between their legs one-on-one. Just outside the blue line. Continually did it, showed him, did it again, showed him, did it again. I am a coach that wants to put a guy back into that position to have success after he's been told or taught or asked to do something. So we did. And then it came to the point where I brought him in and I showed him a couple more and I said, this is the last one. The next time, there won't be a video. It'll just be, you'll be watching the guys and your teammates from the press box. And I'm not saying that triggered him or whatever. He was probably at the point where he was ready anyway. But players, I think, need to understand that as a coaching staff, that we were going to be giving more talk. That's literally the only real hammer that a coach has, is that your ice time will take the ice time away. Like, you can't take money away, you can't do any of those things. So if you don't do the right things to help the team and be a team first player and buy into what we're asking to do, then you're going to sit out. So Fantilli did that. He committed, as we talked about earlier, he committed to do that. And yes, early in the year he was looking for a lot of recognition. At the end of the year now, he knows when he messed up. He knows he comes to the bench and he doesn't look at me with puppy dog eyes saying, you know what, I shouldn't have did that, right? He just goes about his business, sits down, understands he's not going to do it again.
So what's on the agenda for you now that the season's over? How long are you going to be around? What are you going to do with your summer?
Well, I'm going to golf.
Just every day, or every day it doesn't rain?
Yeah, I'll play every day, twice a day. But,
do you watch playoffs?
I don't right now. I will dive back into it, likely in the semis and then the finals, just to see what teams are doing. I'll watch here and there, but I'm not going to. I get asked that a lot. Like, do you watch as a fan now? And it's literally impossible to watch as a fan. I watch as a coach. I watch systematic stuff. I watch, line changes and what coaches are doing, when they're pulling the goalies, when they're doing. Yeah. You watch all that kind of stuff, and we're such a. I think every sports league's a copycat league. So we took some stuff from the Florida Panthers this year. We'll take some stuff, I'm sure, from whoever wins, and then incorporate it into our system. But that's why I like the World Junior and the Four Nations a lot, because then you can just watch it as a fan, right? I mean, you got the passion and that countries and all that kind of stuff. But we'll dive back into it again, and we'll pick some stuff from some teams for sure.
It's funny you say that. Warsofsky out in San Jose took the 1-3-1 because that's what Cooper used with Team Canada. Switched his neutral zone after the break, and it really helped their team. Yeah.
It's funny because you don't want to. You want to be consistent. You don't want to be flip-flopping all over the place, certainly. But yeah, if you can tweak a little bit and understand and not be so prideful or proud or whatever, or stubborn.
Know it all.
Know it all. That you know what, maybe what you put in isn't right. And I know as a head coach, what's really important is that you listen to your assistant coaches and you make sure that they understand that they can say whatever the hell they want to you, and if they don't agree with something that we're doing, or they want to change something, or they think something might help us, then speak up. I hate yes men on our staff, and as you know, a lot of them very well. We don't have that. We have heated discussions all the time in the coaches' room. We go back and forth, but when we come out of there, we're united. We're a team. As much as we want the team on the ice to be that way.
I want to ask you about the Jack Adams Award for the best coach of the year. Your name is in there, but I want to ask you from an angle of, and which is well deserved, by the way. I mean, it's been a tremendous year. You've done great things with this team. But that aside, if you take your name out of it, coaching against coaches is different. I mean, who do you think are some of the top coaches that you've coached against this year where it's like, geez, this guy's on top of it?
Yeah. Jody, honestly, every NHL coach is tight, right? I mean, you don't get, it's very rare that you get a coach that comes in here or you go out on the road and you're trying to get your matchups and he misses a matchup. Like, it doesn't happen. I think the coaches at this level have been through so much, through so many different leagues and learning situations that honestly everyone's tight. And I don't want to say, the players separated. Right, yeah. The players are, and as ex-players, the goalies and the players. But you know what, they do, and if they're the most important thing. I think coaches get too much credit. I think coaches get too much blame, right, for what happens during seasons and what have you. So to pick out one or two or a few. It's difficult. Obviously, there's some fantastic, terrific coaches throughout the league, but I think everybody at this level is pretty good.
Well, then, for me, it's fascinating because now, since I retired, I stand between the benches, and it's fast. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do the matchups. I'm just trying to stay out of the way, but you have 4 lines, 6D. They're on the road is different because you're trying to keep some young players or some vulnerable players away from their top players. You know what's going to happen. I watched the Montreal Canadiens the other night. They get an icing. They've got Laine, Demidov, and Lane Hudson on the ice, and Ovechkin's out there, and they get the game winner.
Sure.
And that's where you don't want to get exposed, and that's where the coach probably drives home and is like, not in overtime. Is that where you notice is those little, there's a play or two within the game where they jump and take advantage, and there's some coaches that miss that?
Yeah, 100%. But it usually happens in those type of situations where there's an icing and you can't get the guys off.
So it's on the table for you.
Yeah, I mean, you should. And again, I'm going to go back to communication and having great assistant coaches and having a great coaching team is when we can come in after a game or in between periods and say, what do you think our matchups are good in this area or not good? the bowler up top and Nikki, and then Aaron downstairs watching it on video and seeing like what they're trying to do. Communicate that to me. Communicate it to Steve McCarthy on the back end, who's changing the D to get the matchups. There's a lot that goes on, but again, you do it for so long. It is literally like riding a bike. You just get in a rhythm and you're watching, but sometimes I'll miss a matchup and Fordo or Javi will say, McDavid's coming next, right? And then so we've got a line that's going out, and then we flip it to whoever we want the match. So it's a communication thing. It's a team thing. And I know that our coaching staff does a great job of that.
Well, we could talk to you all day, but the last one for me is, as you came into Columbus and now you've got to know the area, you had a good season, not a great season, not set. You set the goal, you didn't get there. But for you as a coach, learning about yourself, what are you most proud of, and what have you learned about yourself in this situation this year?
I think it's how the team came together. And again, not that, and I've heard the culture thing and the atmosphere and all that had to be changed. It didn't. It had to be tweaked a bit. And we, as this staff, Don Waddell as the organization, as the head of the organization, knew coming in. I'm proud of the way that the guys became a really close group, a really close team. And all our injuries and all that kind of stuff, every team has it. Yeah, we had it too. But everybody stuck together. And again, through the Johnny's, the devastating situation with Johnny, to the end of the year, the guys just played their butts off together. And that's what I'm most proud of, that we had a part in doing that, and we have to continue doing that moving forward.
Well, Dean, thank you very much. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. It's been great being with you all season. Well, most of the season, anyway. I'm sure there were some times you didn't want to.
I actually never want to talk to you.
Yeah, hey, we should talk to Dean.
Let's just be truly honest.
It should be a weekly show.
No,
I mean, he should have a weekly show.
No, it probably should.
No, it probably should be. Jody has a good point.
Absolutely.
Well,
we need to talk to you more often.
Yeah.
I got to get the hell away from Jody. I know I could beat Bob up, but no, I don't know about Jody.
I'm not a fighter anymore. Come on.
Oh, now you're a lover.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Well, but we really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a great offseason.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. That is Dean Evison, Blue Jackets head coach. Jody and I will come back and wrap up the Inside Edge right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon, even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Oh, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Hey, living with chronic pain, it's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa, walking on pins and needles. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City, so call 380-208-4544.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10 TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Bishop and Friends.
It was impossible. Nobody knew. You had to blinker. I still blinker just to be safe, like give them a little flash, like, hey, you go, I got you, because I don't trust people.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Need to tackle your next big project? Choose Ohio Cat for unbeatable construction equipment. From bulldozers to excavators, Ohio Cat delivers power, precision, and performance with the quality you expect. And with our one-stop rental shop, you get top-notch equipment with a long-term commitment. Whether it's a quick job or a major build, if you need it, Ohio Cat rents it. Visit ohiocat.com to explore our equipment options and make your next project a success. Ohio Cat, proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Getting started in hockey has never been easier. The Blue Jackets Learn to Play program, presented by Performance Columbus in association with Moo Express Car Wash and Kroger, is an introductory ice hockey program for boys and girls ages 4 to 10. Classes are held year-round at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Registration includes age-appropriate instruction and head-to-toe equipment, yours to keep. Hockey starts here at bluejackets.com/learn-to-play.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody, Shelley, and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Wrapping up this season, wrapping up this edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. And Jody, playoffs are in full swing. You're about to go be a part of it for TNT. What have you liked so far?
You know, it's incredible to watch the intensity of every game and just the playoff hockey. It's a new type of game, and you're seeing a lot of teams that have players that haven't played in the playoffs. You know, the Ottawa Senators, they haven't made the playoffs in 7 years, and they've got players in the organization who've never seen a playoff game, almost all of them. So, you know, it's been fun to watch the upper echelon teams get into it right away. You know, Winnipeg is good. Toronto is good. They play a team game, but the teams that are fighting them, they aren't going away. You know, Dallas is good. They're banged up. They're missing Heiskanen and Robertson, their number one D and their top goal scorer, and they even the series up with Colorado. You know, and I love that. Even last night with Minnesota beating Vegas in Vegas. I love the fight in some of these teams that you kind of forget about. Everyone talks about the top teams, but how you feel about a team now that loses, right? You expect teams to steamroll, and there are some that will get through the first round in four games, or 4 or 5. But there's fighting other teams. So like the dialogue, and you remember being in the playoffs where you win a game and you feel like so good, right? The organization, the city, the players. You lose. And you think, oh, boy, we got a lot of holes. It's not just going to be that steamroll. So
remember being up 2-0 against Washington. Remember that?
Yes, and it's the roller coaster of the playoffs and the intensity. It's been extremely physical. I've been impressed with the physicality almost of every series and how that sets the tone and can change a game. And it's 60 minutes. You know, you think teams have it figured out. And then you see a few things go wrong, and it still comes down to goaltending. I mean, you're on the road the first 10 minutes, especially in Vegas, and last night Gustafsson for the Wild. He weathered the storm, and he weathered it throughout the game, and it was just it was impressive. The other game I thought was unreal was that Edmonton Oilers comeback. Down 4-0 headed in. It was 4-1 heading into the third, and they came back and actually got to 5-2, I think. And they came back and tied it, pushed it to overtime. But it was all Connor McDavid. I mean, the best players and the goaltenders are making huge factors. I love the battle. There's 5 Canadian teams in. The Battle of Ontario has been tremendous. The way the Jets are they're a well-oiled machine. St. Louis, they came in hot. They came into the playoffs hot, but Winnipeg is tight, and they've got a goaltender in Hellebuck who hasn't played great, but he's good. He's good. He settles in the game. So the pressure on teams, the switches of series. Now home games are going to be over after tonight. The home advantage is going to switch. I watched that Montreal-Washington series, and I think we're a much tougher matchup. The Blue Jackets are a much tougher matchup than the Montreal Canadiens. From the goaltender out, the size, that's another part of this season that I look back and think, geez, that would have been great being in Washington tonight and coming home for playoffs this week. But I'll let it go.
Jody, it's been fun again this year. I don't know how many years we've done this consecutively. It's been a lot. And it's never any less fun. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob. We've had great guests, and I think this radio show is a wonderful way for our listeners and fans to get to know our team and our players. And we dig in on them. And this interview with the coach, I thought that was tremendous. I could have talked to him all day, and we should talk to him more because he's the leader of the team, mm-hmm. and this is a coach's town. And I think he did it's really great to catch up with him. I've enjoyed every show. I can't believe the season's over, but to have a great off season, and I guess the next thing we'll maybe talk about is free agency or the draft.
The draft
going to be different, so
have to be different.
We'll see.
All right. Well, Jody, good luck for the playoffs on TNTs. We're going to be able to find Jody tomorrow, Minnesota and Vegas, and then he's going to Colorado for the Stars and Avalanche. And that's going to wrap up this season of the Inside Edge. Thank you to the fine folks at First Merchants Bank once again for sponsoring this show so that we can bring it to you week after week after week. Can't thank them enough. Thanks to everybody back at our flagship station, 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, for getting us on the air every week. And it's been great. It's been fun. And we're going to do it again before you know it. It'll feel like forever, but then it'll feel like before you know it. We'll be right back here. For Jody, Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long, and thanks for listening to The Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Germain Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99% up to 48 months or 4.49% up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day.
But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or at goodfeet.com.